All right. Oh, I think we reached the radar guided missiles. AIM-7D. What do you guys think of the AIM-7D? I mean, radar missiles have the advantage of being all aspect, but honestly, I wouldn't put it higher than B tier. It's not a very good radar guided missile, and it gives us enough room here to put all the other radar guided versions of the AIM-7 C tier. I think I'd take an R13M or an AIM-9D over an AIM-7D. The AIM-7D is kind of shit. Even the AIM-9C, it's such a tiny upgrade over the AIM-9D. I'd still put it at D tier. Next up, the AIM-9C, the radar-guided variant of an AIM-9G or D, and it's kind of nice. I like using it on, I think it's just on 1 or 2 planes. I think it's on 1 plane only. It's the F8, and I think it's a straight up B tier. AIM-7E. So the AIM-7E, I just looked it up yesterday, got recently buffed to 25G overload, and it makes it honestly a pretty good missile. Like, I put it at either C or B tier. I think a B tier is good because that's the range of the other AIM-7s. R3R, like, okay, we put the R3S at dogshit tier right down here, but the R3R, I would put it at E tier. You know, it still doesn't turn well compared to the to other missiles. Like, it's the same turn rate as the R3S, but now you can intercept things like, you know, when a Harrier for some reason decides it wants to climb to space, you can just intercept them now with radar guided missile. That they can't really, and they can't really do anything about it. So I think it's a good E tier, you know, between E and D in my opinion. So next one is the AIM-7E2, and we all know what that thing is, and it's straight up S tier. No discussion on that. Straight up freaking S tier. R23R. I'm not so sure about that one because all the planes that use it have a quite shitty radar that can easily be chaffed and everything, and they still sometimes, you know, they can still track even when being chaffed, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't work, and I'd say it's a B tier missile. I say it's better than the current C tier missiles, so I put it at B tier. Matra R530, radar guided missile, right here at D tier. It is awful. It is freaking awful. You know, it can turn, it has some range, but it needs to do a weird lock-on before you can fire it, and a single chaff will defeat the missile 100% of the time. So D tier, absolutely. Maybe even E tier, I'm not even sure. You know what, let's put it E tier. This missile gives me so much hate. No, I could also put it at dog shit, but at least it turns well, kind of. Okay, let's go R24R. Still the same issues that the R23R suffers from, that being, you know, the planes that carry it have shit radars. It's still a lot better than the R23R. So I would put it at A tier. I think you forgot the AIM-9P. Oh no, we left out some missiles because the AIM-9P is straight up the same missile as the AIM-9J. So we didn't include that one. It's just a different naming. It's not, you know, it's just export version of the AIM-9J. Same stats, same performance. They are exactly the same. That's why we don't have the AIM-9P in here. Or the R60MK. Yeah, the R60MK is just the same as the R60M in terms of performance. It is exactly the same. You don't have to put the MK in here if we already have the M. Let's go. Because the wiki, the War Thunder wiki, still doesn't have a missile of the S-Byte 1A. Look, it even says Selenia in here. Italian missile, also used by China, straight S tier. I sometimes get the feeling it doesn't pull quite as well as something like the AIM-72, but that could also very well just be its speed, because it is the fastest missile in the game with Mark 5. It's an incredible missile. The range is very good. The speed is insane. The turn rate is very good. Tracking sometimes kind of weird if the enemy really spams chaff, but still straight up S tier missile. Next up, R530F, the Super 530. We couldn't get a picture of it from the wiki because the wiki doesn't have a picture. It's D tier. You know what? Let's put it C tier because it pulls quite well and the speed is also pretty good. But again, it still has the same shitty seeker that the normal 530 has. And that means a single drop chaff will defeat the missile 100% of the time. Sky Flash. The Sky Flash, basically just a aim 7... Oh, frick. Aim 72, just a very, very tiny bit different. I think it's a bit more lightweight, at least in-game. In real life, it might be different from the E2, but in-game, very, very slight difference. The stats are all the same in terms of turn rate, speed, etc. So it's a straight-up S-tier missile. Next up, where we also couldn't get a picture, the Aim 7F. It has several issues. It is pretty slow compared to other Aim 7s, but it has a lot of range because it has a longer burn time and, you know, dual stage motor and stuff. And it still pulls pretty hard. It has the longest range of all the missiles in games, so I'm debating whether I put it A tier or S tier. A tier. I still like it. It is really, really long range. Like, I've gotten 34 kilometer kills with that, which is basically the max range you can get because at 35 kilometers, the enemy doesn't render in. So it is a very nice missile. Let's put it S tier.